Yeah, so this is the Land of Ice and Shire, or Lord of the Rings, or today, Westworld. Though I'm sure, seeing the original film with Yul Brynner in it, watch it, it's fucking awesome. There's also Medieval World, there is Roman World, there is a sequel film called Future World, and now we know there's a Samurai World. I think there's another name for it, but I just like to call it Samurai World because that's cool as fuck. Anyhow, let's get through what I think the most fundamental part of this week's episode was, and that is the weapon. So we already know Dolores is crazy, she's wild, she wants to take over. We know that, good old Maeve, or the good old sexy hooker, who's actually a mother, she wants to find her daughter. She doesn't want to be a human and go back on the train. She wants to find her daughter, who she knows she isn't real, but she is real to her. And they have confirmed that both her and Dolores have reached full consciousness. As the actor who plays Dolores said on Twitter. So, in the second episode of this season's run, William, Old Man in Black, or Ed Harris, referred to his greatest mistake. Dolores seemed to disagree, saying she knows what they'll find when they reach his location within Westworld. An old friend was foolish enough to show me long ago, she says. It's not a place, it's a weapon, and I'm going to use it to destroy them. At the end of this episode, Dolores and William are travelling towards this thing's location. So I kind of had this plausible idea to what that weapon might be. A transmitter, perhaps a satellite dish that will allow its user to control hidden hosts everywhere. Why this is made? Several possible reasons. One, simply, since Delos knew that something went wrong all those years ago, they want a backup plan. They do want a backup plan. But it seems they would have already got that dish, unless William was the one who created it, because of how he felt then. Or Ford might have, as part of his narrative, or Arnold might have. Arnold might have originally wanted hosts to become. We know that there's this inclination to Ford and Arnold both saw hosts as the next species to take over, especially with Ford's quote about the Neanderthals, which is quite Hannibal Lecter-esque. We ate them. So yeah, I think it's a transmitter, a bit like how Hamid is, how she's able to control everyone. Like she has that power just to kind of like Bernard's watch or the Matrix. So she plays an integral part. Obviously, she just walks straight past Dolores, and she doesn't want any involvement in her fucking genocide. So and I think that's really how the show's gonna end. The Dolores and the host realize that they're no different to you, and when they gain consciousness, they do things just as bad, an eye for an eye, and so on. And in episode 1, it was made clear that Delos had secretly been taking DNA from Westworld guests. The next episode implies that may lead to making clones. So this kind of matches the season 1 reveal about curing any disease. But this is the real mind-blowing part of the theory. Once the clones were made, Delos could start replacing real guests with their identical clones and sending them back into the real world. Guests are likely to be just killed and disposed of, replaced with an identical copy. The rich and the famous, who are the people who go to Westworld, the most powerful people in the world, have been replaced with sleeper hosts, and nobody is the wiser. It's a bit like Beam Me Up Scotty Revelation in Star Trek. When Scotty does get beamed up, he actually dies. And when he comes back, his consciousness dies, essentially. A bit like some philosophers and scientists think that when we go to sleep, we die, our consciousness dies. We wake up thinking we were the person that we were. So that's what these new clones go around the world thinking they were. And they're under complete control of Delos, who we know are a lot bigger than just Westworld. So the weapon is a huge transmitter, a satellite dish, which will allow whoever uses it the ability to control the sleeper hosts, the former guests around the world, and I imagine every single every single host there is. So in episode 1 of season 2, it was revealed that the hosts have some sort of local wireless network that they can use to communicate with each other, and it's clear that Meav has mastered this to control the other hosts. So it's a pretty solid theory, and it nicely tightens the screw holding the storyline together. It makes too much sense to ignore. Will it be proven right? We'll have to find out. And the only kind of issues I do have with it is it just looked to me like a load of dug up shit, pretty much, a bit like when Forbes digging up. So maybe I think that scene could have been a different. So Dolores could have been taken to see the weapon. Well, we know Dolores was taken to see the weapon. She's seen that she'd been to the place beyond. But William could have just been showing her what's gonna happen. You know that she's just a robot and they're just making this theme park, and he just wants to rub in her face because he obviously didn't believe that he knew that he had been played by Ford, so that someone funded the park. So maybe the person who does show Dolores is actually, when she refers to an old friend, it's Bernard, and she sees something entirely different to what William showed her. But William did say he made a terrible mistake, which, going all the way to the Man in Black now, would seem to make sense that now the hosts have a weapon to control every other host. But the Man in Black likes the game, so to him that would be fun. But all those years ago when he was William, maybe not so much. But really depends on the Man in Black's part in the maze as well. So it's all very complicated, but I think that the most likely thing that it is a secret, because we know there's so many secrets within all of Delos, a secret that will hold together all of the hosts under Dolores' control. Whether that's enough to take on humans, whether that's enough to win, we don't know. But it could be. There could be military generals, presidents who've been to Westworld. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe Delos' plan was to be in control of the world, not realizing that the host the whole time was sneaking up on them. So essentially the host is just the next evolution of humans. But judging that episode as well, I also have a theory that the original Arnold did heavily think that. And we can see the split timelines too as well. Such as when Dolores and Arnold are looking out the window of the city, and then they show that scene again. And they both mention, well, Dolores mentions the same line that William mentions about, the sight, isn't it, a splendid sight? And the next time she says it to Arnold, he kind of backs up. So I think the last time we seen them both looking out was the original Arnold. The first time was Burn Arnold. And you can tell that by the scar on his head. So we know that they're just throwing narratives from everywhere, and we've just got to be very close and tight to see. So anyhow, tune in tomorrow for my next Westworld theory, and that will be on the Man in Black and his part in the maze, or this new game, because we know the maze wasn't meant for him. And I think that him and Dolores have a lot more to say to each other. And I also think that Teddy is going to become quite crucial, and Angela's revelation about her character also. Because I think she is a first generation host, it seems, or some of her men are, because they wear fucking Minotaur heads. I guess they were killed in the original massacre, buried, kind of dug themselves out of it, put back online by Arnold, who seems to be living in the system. If Arnold wasn't a host, I still have theories that Arnold actually's always been a host. Or maybe Ford's always been a host and Arnold made him. We'll never know. Because the show has really shown that humans and hosts are very much alike. you've got Dolores on one side, who has this revenge killer instinct that humans have, and then you have me who just wants to go and find her daughter. So I think it might end up with man fucking around trying to be God again, and that's all where the name Delos and quite a lot of other names come into it. So it really is an intellectual show. If you haven't read the book Memento Mori, I suggest you do. By Jonathan Nolan, who obviously just done this, and also the film with Guy Pearce, and it's awesome. It's awesome. You will not guess the ending of it, not a chance. And I do not think that anyone is going to guess the ending of Westworld. So yeah, please do subscribe, check out Facebook and whatnot. I will be doing Westworld primarily at the moment, though there'll also be a video every day where there's all the rains, Song of Ice and Fire, how ridiculous the ice dragons can burn down a fucking wall with ice instead of just making it fucking stronger. And I'll also be doing a few other shows, Star Wars maybe, if I'm still kind of a bit schizophrenic after watching Last Jedi. So yeah, anyhow, take it easy.